Good morning, darling. Happy Monday. I was in such a hurry to get here to you today. It was like so much. We're bringing the future into now. My gift to you today is bringing the future into now. And a lot of this week is going to be about the energy management and emotional management of bringing the future into now. Why is this even relevant? So, a lot wants to happen through you. And everything moves really, let me be clear. Excuse me. Give me a moment to just ground here. I was physically moving fast and with a sense of urgency before I hit go live today. The universe moves fast. The universe moves very fast. We move slow. The purpose of me being here, for those of you who are hearing my voice for the first time, is to be a walking, talking embodiment of power. Birthing my signature work, helping others birth their signature work, and create the millions of dollars or whatever is necessary, both externally and internally, to be able to manifest the message, the vision, the thing that's dying to come out of you. And so I'm here Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific. So the universe moves fast. We move slow. The universe moves fast. We move slow. The thinking about it, that's a slow process. Even meditation is a slow process. So meditation is really the greatest, even though a lot of people do it for relaxation, what it really is being able to be with oneself. The universe moves fast. We are the ones who are slow. The universe. So this entire week is going to be all about managing the speed of bringing the future into now in different ways. So if you go look at the calendar for this week and you see the different shows scheduled for this week, it's about energy management. It's about emotional management, because as you are birthing signature work and you are really embodying who you must be to create the conditions to birth that work, emotions are going to do weird things. Let me talk to this. So right now in the United States, shout out to my international clients and followers and peers. Right now in the United States, the 2020 ticket runners are announcing their bids for presidency. A Black woman just announced, I think it was yesterday, that she is running for president of the United States in 2020. And so she did her first rally, I think it was yesterday, in Oakland, California. Her name is Kamala Harris, a former district attorney of San Francisco. And the day of her rally, the former mayor of San Francisco comes out and announces that him and her used to date, and he contributed to part of her ascension in the beginning of her political career, and that he slept with her while he was married. The day that she had her first rally out there to become president of the United States. Now, of course, she knows that this, in her instance, she knows something like this is probably going to come to the forefront because, politics is dirty, right? However, the emotional management is the point of the story. Many messengers who I talk to, and who I've talked to for years, I'm using the title of messenger now, but I've been working with messengers for my entire transformational career. And many of us have been hiding. We are, not only have we been hiding because we're afraid of being visible and powerful, but we're also afraid of being found out. And so when I think about this Kamala Harris situation, this Black woman, the first Black woman, not the first, but the second Black woman who's ever run for president of the United States. The first Black woman ran in, I think it was the 70s. And like her first rally, this, hit of, to tarnish her reputation, to poison people's minds and to look at her negatively. This is, for the average person to experience the energetics of that, like not that exact scenario, but for the average person to experience the energetics of feeling what could be a backstabbing, a betrayal, just an ugliness hurled at them. This is a lot of the management that I'm going to be talking about for this week, and starting with today with bringing the future into now. I feel the sensation in my body when I even say that. Last night I wrote it on a piece of paper and I sat it next to my bed so I could see it as soon as I woke up. And then when it came to me, as actually today's topic was going to be Wednesday anyway. So bringing the future into now. What do I mean when I say this? What is the vision? So my vision is a world-class chateau. And I've been talking about this for the last 2 years, and I'm going to continue to talk about it until it's manifested. It's a world-class chateau, where it's a destination where women come and learn how to be women. It is currently only in my mind. It was given to me about 2 decades ago. And I've gotten glimpses of what it takes within me as a person to manifest that, and glimpses of the vision. Now, this is ginormous. Who I am today, right now, is not going to be who it's going to take to bring that to life. It's going to take a totally different version of me, which is what I step into every single day. And so, hold on one second, please. Thank you. So when I talk about bringing the future into now, the actual practice of that creates turbo in the body. The phenomenon previously known as fear. So I know a master who talks about it in that way, and I like his explanation of it, so I'm using it here in this video. His name is Master Nigel, and he talks about the fact that fear is actually turbo. What it is, it's a speed that happens in the body, and for those of us who are immature in our experience with speed, we make it a bad thing and back away. Take that in. I want you to go back and listen to that again. Take that in. Because think about all the times that you feel what you would call fear. There's typically something fast happening inside of your body and inside of your mind, and you're having a hard time dealing with it. You immediately label it as bad, and then you back away or create some kind of story to make it bad or wrong. Like, process yourself. That's actually one of the topics of this week, learning how to watch yourself without judging yourself. Because as you are birthing something signature, like when you're birthing something signature, typically there's a vision of some sort. Look what I have on, by the way. I'm excited about it. You guys know I love fashion. That will be another business that I will birth, and I'll talk about that later. And when you're bringing the future into now, when you're bringing the future into now, you're automatically going to feel speed inside the body. Anything that's in you, a desire for $100,000 in the next 30 days, like genuine desire, a desire to have a chain of birthing studios that revolutionize the healthcare industry. Any desire that's in you genuinely, everything that's necessary for you to make that real is here now. It's you lining up with the thing, the people, the money, the mindset, the resources, the vibrational frequency, the energy, the capacity to hold, the right leadership, right? It's all here. And it's like moving parts. It's like all these moving parts all over the place. And here is little old you here that must come into to be able to handle this in a third dimensional world, or fear. And like Willie Brown dropping that about Kamala Harris yesterday was intentionally aimed to destroy her. him dropping that was intentionally meant to cause harm. So the leader who you are becoming, and I've had this happen to me, people doing things intentionally to cause harm for whatever reason, right? And then my job and how I'm going to respond to that is the woman who runs a multi-million-dollar chateau, who is revolutionizing the way women step into power, who is a model, a representation, a visionary over this colossal estate that's meant to be a beacon in the world, right? Is she someone who's going to have these erratic, emotional responses to things? Is she going to, right, believe, like, be easily moved by, like, there's a, like, and this is the coming into that who is the leader that you must be to birth your signature work, bringing the future into now? So let me get to this because I got like 8 minutes left. So who is that person, right? So let's begin with the end in mind. This is reverse engineering. When I say bringing the future into now, it's taking what you imagine for yourself 5 years, 10 years, even 1 year from now, and bringing it into now, okay? So 1 year from now, what's your expectation for yourself? What do you see for yourself? Fill in the blank. This is your homework. This is an assignment I want you to walk away with, okay? What do you see? How much money do you have? How much money do you create a year from now, 2 years from now? What living conditions do you create for yourself a year from now, 5 years? And I want you to go with the big thing, right? So for me, it's the chateau. And it's like everything I do is going toward that. I don't care what the current circumstance is. Everything I'm doing is building toward that. So the projects I do, the relationships I'm nurturing, everything I'm doing is going toward that and having people in my life who have wide, deep capacity. Strong people, powerful people who are not easily swayed. If you're easily swayed, you're over there. Like I categorize you, you're over there. If you're weak in your spirituality, you're over there. Because my kingdom cannot handle, it's not even, the work is not willing to handle weakness. It's not willing. It requires pillars of strength. It demands it. Like if I'm off at all, crazy shit starts happening. People, I'm telling you, and it's so beautiful because it cleans things up for me. Somebody comes to me with this weak, fear-based, you're over there. Something happens that removes somebody from my life, it's a cleanup. It's the work cleaning everything up. So, and this stuff starts to happen fast. And this is what I mean by the management of your emotions. And I'll be talking so much more about this during the week. The management of the speed, the management of the emotions, and how, something that you forgot about because it happened 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago. And it gets stirred up in you as you start to come into the light more, as you start to be a version of yourself that you see 5 years from now. 5 years from now, you see yourself as a multimillionaire and you think to yourself, okay, how does a multimillionaire think? If I was today who I imagine I will be 5 years from now, a woman who has a multi-million-dollar business, who is running whatever your thing is, who is running a world-class chateau, who is, has a team of people who she honors and respects, who respects the vision, who they honor and respect her, and they are, doing whatever the thing is that you see for yourself. Who is that woman? Who is that man? And being that person today. That's how you bring the future into now. And in doing that, you're going to feel the turbo in your body, the speed. You're going to feel the speed in your body. And I want to encourage you, and I really love this, what Master Nigel talks about, is really replacing the word fear with turbo. Fear, right? Really? It's really just unknown. When you really start to break apart fear, it's really just unknown territory. And it's really about radical transparency. It's like fear of being seen, fear of showing up, fear of consequence. That's transparency, radical transparency, and the speed of that, and the movement of everything in between that. Oh, I'm so excited to talk so much more about that this week. And so remember last week I talked about, I think it was when I talked about money being the final frontier. It's really learning how to navigate the space between universal speed of things and the allness of it, and the third dimension where there's fear and the ugliness of humans and the benevolence of humans, right? Like really getting good with that, like understanding that people will change their mind. You'll have people who loved you, now they hate you. You'll have people who hate you, now they love you. You'll have people who quit on you. You'll have people who you thought would be your greatest supporters, and they end up being the ones who turn their backs on you. Your own self-doubt creeps in. You get some kind of hate from some unexpected place. Like learning how to navigate all that and being able to sit with the benevolence of all things. Like that, wow, we get a chance to be alive right now. The allness that's present all around that you and I get to tap into. So, like this, even as I sit here with you right now, I feel like the largeness of this topic, and that's why I'm really glad to talk about it more this week. But what I want you to do today as an assignment is look at the vision that you have, the message and the vision that you have for the vision that you have for the message. So are you expecting to be speaking on stages globally? Are you expecting to be living in Abu Dhabi 6 months out of the year, or living in different countries each quarter? What are you envisioning, right? And then who is the woman or man who leads that, who lives that life? How do they talk? What standards do they erect? What decisions do they make? Who do they have around them, right? And I could talk more about this. This is what I'll say, since I have 17 minutes left. 3 minutes, about 2 minutes, 3 minutes. So remember I told you guys I built a fashion marketing company from the ground up and sold it in 4 years. I did that from hustle, just hustle, and unsustainable hustle. I know hustle is fancy and trendy and popular, but hustle, like hard hustle, for me, the way I was doing it back then is not sustainable. Like I would run myself into the ground. I need to take 3 days or more to recover. Then I'd go run myself into the ground again. And I was getting results. On the outside, it looked really good because I was getting all these successful results. But on the inside, I was killing myself, little by little. Then I sold that, came into the transformation space and created the success there by working hard too, but also starting to understand the principles, the universal principles that I talk about on practically every show. Now in this next, life now that that I'm birthing, it's about heavily relying on spirit to create, bringing the future into now. And that's what I encourage you to do. So, in every show that I do, it's always about power and you deciding what's powerful for you and what works for you. And what I know is universal. And actually, all of this week is universal. I'm talking about Melanin Messengers and 5-figure clients for Melanin Messengers, and that's the focus for sure. And to this week, it's universal. It affects universal messengers and everybody else who has a great vision that they're looking to birth and bring into the world and bring in the future into now. So I want you to go rewatch this video and really look at who you're going to be today that you thought you were going to be 5 years from now because you had this thing that you saw for yourself 5 years from now, a year from now. That's how you start to collapse time and space. That's how you start to experience this turbo in your body. And this week, I'm going to be talking to you about how to navigate this turbo and this speed, much of it that I've felt over the years, that you have felt, that you've oftentimes called fear, that has caused you to be like, well, let me think about it, when really you're afraid and you're going to go, process the way you always process, that has kept you where it's kept you. And so it's like, how do you navigate this new emotional terrain so that you emerge on the other side and not on the same side that you've always been on, giving yourself the same logical sounding reasons for why you're choosing to stay on this side versus the side that you must emerge from in order to birth the signature work and vision that you have for that work. So it's complex, it's dynamic, it's long-term work, it's big girl work. And I'm really excited to talk more about it this week. So naturally, I'll be going into this as well in the 5-Figure Clients for Melanin Messengers course, which starts March. The deadline to register is March 18th. You can register below. You have any questions, you email me. Share this video, subscribe. And that's it. So we got a lot to talk about as far as you being that person now and not next year. Lots of love. See you tomorrow.